Hey, you donkey! You call yourself a foodie? You think you've seen it all? You've probably never even left your postcode. Today we're diving headfirst into the world's most disgusting, most ridiculous, most bloody awful street foods. We're talking about the kind of stuff that would make a maggot think twice, so buckle up you muppets, because this is gonna be a bumpy ride. Hey, food adventurers! Ever wondered what kind of weird, wacky, and downright yucky street foods exist around the world? Today, we're diving into the top 10 street foods that might just make you gag, yet people keep cooking them. Ready? Let's go! First up, we've got stinky tofu. This is tofu that's been left out in the sun, gone off, and then deep fried for good measure. The smell alone is enough to knock you off your feet. It's like a dumpster fire at a sewage plant. They take blocks of tofu and soak them in a brine of fermented vegetables, cabbage, bamboo shoots, you name it, it's in there. They let that fester for days, sometimes even weeks, until the tofu takes on a lovely shade of gray-green. Then they dredge it in batter and deep fry it to a crisp. The result, a steaming pile of tofu that smells like death but apparently tastes like heaven. To some people. They say it's an acquired taste, like fine wine or blue cheese. But if you're feeling adventurous, go ahead and give it a try, just don't say I didn't warn you. Next up, we're heading to the Philippines for a little delicacy called balut. Imagine cracking open a boiled egg, except instead of a yolk, you find a partially formed duck fetus staring back at you. Balut is a fertilized duck egg that's been incubated for a couple of weeks, just long enough for the duckling inside to start developing feathers, bones, and even a beak. It's then boiled alive and eaten in its entirety, crunchy bits and all. Balut is considered a delicacy in the Philippines, and it's said to be packed with protein and nutrients. They say it tastes like chicken, but I'm not buying it. Balut has this weird, gamey flavor that's hard to describe. If you're feeling brave, go ahead and give it a try. Just don't come crying to me when you're up all night with nightmares about feathery fetuses. But hey, who am I to judge? Now let's talk about century eggs, also known as thousand-year-old eggs. Imagine an egg that's been soaked in a vat of mud, ash, and quicklime for a few months. The yolk turns a ghastly dark green color, and the white transforms into a translucent jelly-like substance that looks suspiciously like snot. And the smell? Oh, the smell! It's like someone took a rotten egg, dipped it in ammonia, and then shoved it up your nose. Fans of century eggs say that the flavor is complex and nuanced, with hints of sulfur, ammonia, and a touch of something that I can only describe as eau de toilette. Personally, I'd rather lick the bottom of a pigeon coop, but if you're feeling adventurous, go ahead and give it a go. Just make sure you have a barf bag handy. It's not a pretty sight. Hold your breath, folks, because things are about to get real stinky. We're heading to Iceland for a taste of hakarl, a traditional delicacy that's not for the faint of heart or nose. Imagine a shark, but not just any shark. We're talking about the Greenland shark, a massive creature that can live for centuries and eats pretty much anything it can get its jaws on. Now here's the catch. Greenland shark meat is poisonous. It contains a toxin called trimethylamine oxide, which can cause intestinal distress, neurological problems, and even death. So, how do the Icelanders manage to eat this potentially deadly fish? They ferment it, of course. They bury the shark meat underground for months on end, allowing it to rot and decompose until the toxins break down. The result? A pungent, ammonia-rich hunk of fish that smells like a combination of cleaning products and a public urinal. They say it tastes like a strong cheese, but I'm not convinced. Eating hakarl is considered a rite of passage in Iceland, and it's often served at special occasions like weddings and Christmas, but personally I'd rather eat my own socks. Let's be honest, you can't talk about weird food without mentioning fugu. Now this isn't your average fish and chips, this is fugu, the deadly pufferfish. One wrong slice and boom, you're pushing up daisies. Fugu contains tetrodotoxin, a poison so deadly it makes cyanide look like a walk in the park. There's enough in one fish to kill 30 grown adults and there's no known antidote. So why, you might ask, would anyone risk their life for a taste? Well, it's all about the thrill of the game, isn't it? The adrenaline rush of knowing that one bite could be your last. Plus, when prepared correctly, the flesh of the fugu is supposed to be incredibly delicate and flavorful. Only highly trained, licensed chefs are allowed to prepare fugu, and they undergo years of rigorous training before they're allowed anywhere near a live one. I've had the pleasure of trying fugu, and honestly, it was underwhelming. But hey, some people live for the danger, right? Just make sure you've got a good life insurance policy before you order it. Next up, we're venturing into the wild world of Eastern European cuisine with a little treat called tzatziki. Now I'm all for a good sausage, but this one's not for the faint of heart or stomach. Imagine this, you're strolling through a bustling market, your stomach's rumbling, and the smell of grilled meat wafts through the air. You stumble upon a vendor selling what looks like plump, juicy sausages. You take a bite and bam! You've just entered the tzatziki danger zone. Tzatziki is a type of raw sausage, often made with pork, beef, or lamb. But here's the kicker, it's not always cooked all the way through. If you're brave enough to try tzatziki, make sure it's cooked to a safe internal temperature. Personally, I'd rather not play Russian roulette with my digestive system. Now, let's talk about a dish that's not for the squeamish Sunday. The Korean blood sausage that's as raw as it gets. Forget your black pudding, forget your boudin noir. This is next-level blood sausage. Imagine a sausage casing, but instead of being stuffed with breadcrumbs and spices, it's filled with a mixture of pig's blood, rice, and noodles. And here's the kicker, it's served raw. Sundae is considered a delicacy in Korea, and it's often served as a street food or as part of a larger meal. Some people say it has a slightly sweet metallic taste, while others say it's an acquired taste. But if you're feeling adventurous and you're not afraid of a little or a lot of blood, go ahead and give Sundae a try. Next up, we're heading to the Andes Mountains for a taste of chicha, a traditional Peruvian drink that's sure to make you pucker up. And not in a good way. Forget your fancy cocktails and craft beers, this is a drink with a history as old as time itself. It's made from fermented corn, but not in the way you might think. We're talking about good old-fashioned human saliva. That's right, folks. Chicha is made by chewing up corn kernels, and then spitting them out into a communal pot. The enzymes in human saliva help to break down the starches in the corn, kickstarting the fermentation process. The mixture is then left to ferment for a few days, resulting in a sour, slightly alcoholic beverage that's definitely an acquired taste. Chicha has been around for centuries, and it's an important part of Peruvian culture. So if you're ever offered a gourd of chicha, just close your eyes, think of England, and take a big gulp. Finally, we come to the king of all weird and wonderful foods, the durian. This spiky, pungent fruit is native to Southeast Asia, and it's known for its incredibly strong odor. Some people say it smells like rotting garbage, while others say it smells like gym socks and old cheese. But one thing's for sure, you'll smell it long before you see it. Beneath its spiky exterior lies a creamy, custard-like flesh that's both sweet and savory. It's often described as having a flavor that's a cross between almonds, cheese, and onions. The smell alone is enough to send some people running for the hills. But if you can get past the stench, you'll be rewarded with a truly unique and delicious culinary experience. So there you have it, folks. 9 of the most disgusting, most bizarre, most downright awful street foods from around the world. We've seen it all, from fermented shark to raw blood sausage to spit-fermented corn drink. But now it's your turn. Leave a comment down below and tell me about the most disgusting thing you've ever eaten. Until next time, you bunch of Muppets. There you have it, you bunch of gluttons. A whirlwind tour of the world's most stomach-churning street foods. I swear some of this stuff would make a sewer rat think twice. But hey, who am I to judge? Food is all about adventure, right? It's about pushing your boundaries, trying new things, and maybe occasionally regretting your life choices. So the next time you're feeling brave, I dare you to step outside your comfort zone and try something truly bizarre. You might just surprise yourself, or you might end up with a bad case of food poisoning. See you next time.